Have you ever wished you could carry out a conversation with a book? Because sometimes I like thinking about stuff like that. I'm like, what if my books could talk? What kind of things would I tell, like said books, if they could talk to me? I could be like, yo, you are such a disappointment. All the expectations, all my hopes. In fact, I was ready to give you all my unborn children for you to be trash, to be total complete trash.
I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you?
So let us talk about my most disappointing books of 2020. Because some of these books you all will be like, I'm not surprised. And some of these books you'll be like, Noria, no way. And if it is that you've not watched a certain book review, the number one book on the list will surprise you.
Brace yourself, my scaly friend.
The Burning God by R.F. Kuang. Du-du-du-du-dum. Before you are like, oh my god, Noria has been body snatched by an alien, because that is definitely not Noria speaking, that is an alien speaking through Noria. I would have you know that no, my body has not been taken over by an alien. No, I have not been probed in the ass. This is me. This is me expressing a disappointment, an acute disappointment. Now, see, here is the thing. I still gave this book a 3 stars because there were still parts of it that I enjoyed. So it is still a 3-star read. The reason why it's number 1 on this and it's my most disappointing book of 2020 is because I had such high expectations. Like, you know, when you go into a book and your expectations are higher than Mount Everest and you're like, oh my god, that is so tall. What a huge, insurmountable expectation. It's going to be so much fun climbing. And then you start climbing. And by climbing, I mean you're reading the book. So you're like climbing and you're climbing and you're climbing and you're like, where is the end in sight? Why is it that one of my most anticipated book became such a drag? That was me with The Burning God by R.F. Kuang. I've already stated the fact in my review, which if you've not watched, you should totally go check out, because I do go in depth in the problems I had with it. But I had a problem with the way in which the ending was rushed. I had a problem with the fact that a lot of these characters, real inclusive, did not actually grow in this book. It's like their growth stopped in the Dragon Republic and that was it. I had a problem with the fact that some very strong, important characters that were brought into this book were just at the end. It was like, why? I had a problem with the fact that a lot of the characters that were killed seemed like they were just done to wring emotions out of us, but I was a dead stone. You could not even wring tears out of me, talk less of blood. Like, that was not going to happen. I was just not interested. I also had a problem with the fact that a lot of like major battles in this were done very messy and were done very rushed, and there was a realization, a certain character shift that Rin went through in the last 2 pages of this that was just like,
gotta call bullshit.
So yeah, you know, Burning God is proof that the weariness I feel, you know, that deep pit in my stomach I feel when I get to the end of a series and it's the last book and I'm terrified that the author would absolutely ruin and destroy this series that I've loved. Like, you know, that pit in your stomach. Sometimes I've gotten too lax. Like, so many of the finales I've read recently have been so good that I've forgotten about that mind-numbing fear I feel when I'm reading the last book in the series. So I entered Burning God without like that echoing warning in the back of my head that what if this disappoints you. And that's the reason why it's my number 1 most disappointing book of 2020, because I repeat, there were so many things. There were like, oh goddamn, there were so many character threads that were not carried to fruition. Some characters started the book in one position and ended the book in the same position without seemingly any escape or growth for that character, because I'm just like, wow. The next most disappointing book, like, because let's get it out of the way. The anticipated 2020 books that absolutely disappointed me. And see, I'm gonna say it, like I said, Burning God is a 3-star read for me, which means it's good. It's not great, it's okay, it's like average, right? An anticipated book I was looking forward to is yet another book with a god in the title, and that is Angry God by L.J. Shen. If you saw my anticipated books of 2020 video, you know how much I almost had an orgasm. Like, I came to climax thinking about this book, because all I was just thinking about, this is the son of Baron Vicious Spencer. This book is going to give me vicious vibes. It's going to be awesome and angsty and just amazing and magnificent and brilliant, and I got
Trash.
Put put it in a trash can and light it on fire and burn it. Burn it, burn it, burn its entire ancestry, burn every single thing, burn everything that has to do with it, burn any recreation, burn any of the replicated ideas, because this book was trash fire. It was moving trash fire garbage that just kept getting inflamed. The more I read it, I was so fucking pissed. It was an absolute waste of my money, waste of my time, waste of the fact that part of that book is still stored in my brain, which means that my brain space, the brain storage capacity, was diminished because of Angry God by L.J. Shen. Now, I would have you know that that is the last book in the All Saints High series, which is a spin-off of the Sinners of Saints series. Sinners of Saints series was the first series by L.J. Shen that I read and I absolutely loved it. Like I said, Vicious, which is the first book in that series, I adored. I could die for. And Angry God was this Vicious's son Von's story, but this book was just blah. There was no chemistry, there was no content, there was no story, there was no hope, there was no sense, there was absolutely nothing. This book gave me zero. This book gave me zero with its entire chest.
It was nothing.
That was me with Angry God by L.J. Shen. That was the worstest, most disappointing. Oh my god. See, Burning God was a disappointment because I had very high expectations for it, and it was okay, but it did not live up to the expectation. Angry God is the worst of the worst because I had moderately high expectation for it and it did not give me half an inch. It did not even give me half a fucking nail. It was drab. It was dry. The chemistry was non-existent. Everything was just stupid. The characters did not make any sense. There was so many character assassination. I'm telling you, these characters were more interesting when they featured in other people's books as when they had their own story.
Waste of our time. Fucking waste of our time.
If I ever find L.J. Shen in any of the streets, if I ever run into Lee Shen, hey, she should pray. She should pray because, goddamn, I can't even blame her because things were like, Pretty Reckless was a 3 stars. I was like, it could have been good, but I could manage. Broken Night was 2 stars. I was like, what the fuck is this garbage, right? In Your Likely Event, I was like, this. Clearly, L.J. Shen is going off for a rocker because this is a 1.5 star read at best. The fuck? Angry God is a 0.5 star. If it is a 0.25 star, it is a star. The only reason why there's an additional number after the 0 is because you cannot just give 0 stars. Waste. Absolute garbage. Pure, sheer disappointment.
Wankers.
My next disappointing read of 2020, and this is of a book that came out in 2020 because the other books on this list did not come out in 2020, so yeah. But this The Shadow Between Us by Trisha Levinseller. See, this book promised me sneaky characters this girl who would kill and has no qualms killing and decide that she's going to kill a king so that she can take his crown, even though this king is highly feared and is considered a dark king. See, so when they said dark king, I was like, oh my god, everything is clenching within me because, ooh, the possibility of a dark king. But this dark king is... My cat Comp Up is darker than this stupid dark king. Turns out that this dark king is just misunderstood and I'm like, I'm sorry, hold the fuck up. I signed up for blood, murder, backstabbing, treachery, and you're giving me a misunderstood king who is not really bad, just everybody just assumes that.
What? What the fuck?
Seriously? And the girl, Alexandra, no claws, nothing, absolutely zero, zilch. It became this regular, average, I fell in love with this bad king that everybody thought was a bad king, but turned out that he had a softer side, and then he assumed wrong things about me and I had to leave and I was really sad, and I'm like, girl, if I bitch slap your ass, if I bitch slap your stupid ass. There was no treachery, there was no backstabbing, there was barely any blood. There was barely any murder. Barely. The bad guy in this was even better. Like, these 2 main characters, I'm like, why did you not just give me a story of the bad guy and just like toss this entire thing in the garbage trash? Because what the fuck? Next disappointing book that I read in 2020. Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahureen. What to say about Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahureen? See, they lied to me. They were like, oh my god, Noria, it's enemies to lovers. It's so cool. It's a witch hunter and a witch, and they have this chemistry, and they have this, like, this repertoire, this banter. It is so beautiful and so sexy. Like, oh my god, you'll be scandalized. The sex. I'm like, oh yeah, good, thank you, please.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
I was not scandalized. I was not intrigued. I was not entertained. I was bored. This book was boring. Oh my god, this book mended all over the place. This book mended all over the place. And it was full of dumbasses making stupid decisions, and a stupid ass girl who did not learn the #1 rule, which is never to fall in love with an idiot, because the love interest in this Ridiggory is an absolute piece of shit, garbage, idiot, dumbass, and Lou deserved better. But then again, I'm like, Lou is also a dumbass. Do you know the person that deserved better in this entire series, in this entire book, was Coco, my girl Coco. My girl Coco could have had a story of her own, like to her own self. I would read Coco's story in a heartbeat, but this is just garbage. The chemistry everybody kept talking about, I'm like,
Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
The Beautiful by Renee Adie was also a 3-star read for me, so I did enjoy part of it. What made this disappointing, and one of my most disappointing reads of 2020, even though I did give it 3 stars, is the fact that I was promised vampires and I did not get vampires. In fact, like, if there's anything I hate the most, is for you to give me like false promises, like false, just like raising my hopes falsely. Don't do that shit. Do not lie to me. Do not tell me that there would be vampires in the book and I don't get shit. Like, why would you lie to me? Why would you lie to me? Like, the vampires don't show up until the later part. And the number of times that Renee Adie says inhuman in this, and I'm like, we get it. They are not human. We get it, Renee. We get it. So yeah, if she had just replaced the inhuman with vampires, I probably would have gotten, like, this book would have been a disappointment, and then probably would have gotten a higher rating. But we did not see vampires. They said this book is about vampires in New Orleans, and we do not actually get confirmation or see vampires in New Orleans until the end of the book. Also, the villain in this was weak as fuck. The villain in this had no sauce, was weak. I am just like... And the twist at the end with regards, oh, you did not see that villain. I'm like, you did not lay any groundwork for this sudden shift and change. So it did not work for me, Renee. It did not work for me. So yeah, The Beautiful by Renee Adie, I found it a disappointment. This was also another 3 stars that I also found a disappointment. That is The Diviners by Liba Bray. Naughty John does this work with his apron on. That's the, like, Naughty John I found fascinating. See, Naughty John was a better villain than the villain we got in The Beautiful. But the problem with this is that the way in which this story ended, this book was a disappointment because, one, people promised me horror. People said that you will not be able to sleep at night, Noria, that you will be so fucking terrified. So in order to really scare myself, I decided to get this book on audio, because I read this on audio. This was a gift from a friend. Thank you, Chika. So I read this on audio. I got this on audio and I was listening to it in the midnight. Like, I had all my blinds like closed and I had all the lights off and I was listening and I was waiting. You know when you are begging to be terrified, like you're begging for a jump scare, you're begging to not be able to sleep, you're begging for nightmares? That was me. I was begging this book to scare me, and this book did not even tickle my feet. Nothing. This is your definition of horror?
Y'all are going to jail! Period!
This is not a horror book. This is just Ivy O'Neill being an idiot. That's another reason why this book was a disappointment, because this book just had this character be stupid from the very beginning all the way to the end. She did not necessarily learn, she did not necessarily grow, and I'm like, why? Also, why are we censoring this girl, this annoying girl, when the diviners, like, it's a whole group of people? Rather than focus on the others, we focus way too many times on Evie, and Evie was the weakest link in this entire book. So it was just a disappointment. And the way the book ended, like, the book ended 100 pages to the ending. Yes, you heard that right. Like, the final showdown, the fight happened 100 pages to the end. What happened in the remaining 100 pages, you're wondering? Absolute pure drivel and a waste of my time. A setup for book 2, yes, but it was still drivel and a waste of my time. And I was just like,
Why? And
finally, the absolute trash, that is The Magicians by Lev Grossman. Is there any possible conversation I might have about disappointing books, books that made me angry, books I hated, etc., that I will not hold up this book. No, it's not possible because this book was an absolute disappointment. And more of a disappointment because, see, I watched the TV show first and I loved the TV show. That was why I actually wanted to get the book. And my very good friend Mila sent me the entire box set, which Mila I am grateful for. And I promise I will still read The Magician's King and The Magician's Land. I will still read them. But see, this book follows Quentin Coldwater, who was annoying, who did not actually grow as a character, who pissed me off, and I know he's a self-insert, like, fantasy fulfillment character that the writer probably created in order to like put himself in their shoes. And I'm just like, there is nothing special about this. There's nothing special about this character. The book was all over the place, and I repeat, this character, the character of Quentin Coldwater, I detested. Like, I really detested. And people are like, oh my god, he grows as a character, and I'm like, I will wait to see it. But I was so bored. This Magicians bored me and also had me yanking out all my hair in frustration, and I was disappointed because I wanted better and I wanted more, and I did not get it because what I got was this garbage. Trash. Fire. Quentin Coldwater is trash. A lot of the characters in this book are trash, but mostly Quentin. Quentin is like grade A trash. Even at the end of the book, did he learn? Nope. Was he still blaming everybody else for decisions he had made? Yes. And someone had the audacity to tell me that Quentin grew in this book.
How delusional can you be?
But yeah, those are my most disappointing books of 2020. Let me know what are some of the most disappointing books you read this year. Just drop it down in the comments so that I can avoid them with a 10-foot pole. Or if it is a book that I actually read and enjoyed and was like almost a favorite, I might try and convince you to give it another go, another try. I don't know. It depends. But yeah, that is this video. I probably would be doing my favorite books of 2020 video next. Just keep an eye out for that. That might be the next video you see. I'm not sure, but I think so. But yeah, that is this video. If you liked it, as always, please do not forget to do a big thumbs up. Check out my other videos. Subscribe if you want to, and if you do decide to subscribe, please do not forget to click on that notification bell. So after you hit on subscribe, click on the bell icon so you can have all notifications turned on so you don't miss any of my new videos, because YouTube algorithm is being a bitch and will not send you notifications when I have a new video up. So, and you do not want to miss any of my videos. But usually I say usually because sometimes my internet can be a bitch, but usually I do have new videos up every Wednesdays and Sundays, often at 2 p.m. EST. Yes, that is 2 p.m. EST. And I will see you soon. Until then, stay passionate, love books, love yourself. Bye.